Hey, how's it going, guys? Doing a weekend recap here for you and taking a look at the weekly candle close and kind of how things are setting up. It does look like there is some strength here finding itself here at around the 90,000 to basically 94,000. That's kind of been that zone. If we can maintain that floor structure and then we'll start breaking above that, which we kind of actually this last week, we kind of did do that a little bit. Already. So we're already starting to set that stronger stage. But let's go ahead and jump into the charts. We'll take a look at the weekly candle and kind of see how things closed out. We move things over as well on our fixed range volume profile. But let's go ahead and take a look at that here. I'm on the weekly chart right now. You can kind of see the current structure that we've been in. And this is what we've been watching over quite a while, actually. This came down here on November 17th, and then we're starting to show a bottoming. And right here is actually liquidity areas that you can see. It's not the greatest, but you do have up here is kind of the pullback area, if you want to look at it that way. If we were going to call that out, you're right around the 115,000. No surprise if you've been charting for a while. You also have this area right through here, which is kind of where it actually just bounced, that you can see down through here. This is the other area that we've been kind of testing a lot of wicks up through here as we were rotating through November into December area. And we've been holding it as a floor. That's why I've been watching that 90 to 92,000, right? To hold as a floor. We did come up and test it here on the week of Christmas week. We did come up and test that area. Couldn't quite get through. The week of the New Year's, we did break back up. We closed back below, right? Then this last week that we've been in, we actually snapped up and then ran up pretty hard. This is where everybody thinks, hey, we're going to the moon. It just like anything, you had to break through it. Now we're actually holding above it. So we're starting to flip this zone. Obviously, we've had this lower zone down here. This was the kind of the golden pocket pullback that we were kind of talking about and looking for. You can see that we've been trading along there, and now we're starting to rotate. So for me, I am watching this to go ahead and start going up. There is a lot of signs of things that if I start seeing happen, I'll start getting pretty excited. So one of them I've been watching is on the 22-hour. The reason why I watch the 22 hours, a lot of times I don't talk about it a ton because usually we're looking at just the recap for the day. But here on the weekend and coming out of the weekend, I do want to look at a little bit of the bigger picture. Maybe I'll start doing that a little more for you. But what I am watching here on the bigger time frames, are really the 22 hours. I want to see price action start to push above this 200 on the 22 hour, start to get this cross, and then more than likely we'll see it on the daily play out as well. So once this 21 gets back through this 200, that's definitely a lot stronger bullish sign, and we'll start to break out. And to do that is watching your strong support and resistances, and that's why we're watching the 90 to 92,000 is to hold as a floor, mainly because you can kind of see it actually being right here on the levels. So if you look at this 21, if we go on over to our data tree and look at the 21 moving average, is at 93,524. The 200 moving average is at 96,238. Well, 94,000 is kind of that range, right? 90 to 94,000 is this kind of rotation range, and you can see us, we're in it right now. So we're kind of playing that out. So we're just going to go ahead and watch this as well. Now you can see this is the last week's candle sitting on here right now. And this was the low. The point of control is amazing, right up at around that 94 to 95,000. And it's really just sitting in this neutral zone, which I call it neutral because you're between the 200 and the 21. So we are holding that. Now your high is going to be up here, obviously, from the last week's candle. These will kind of float because these are extending right through price action as it goes forward. We'll have to just watch that as it plays out. If you go on down to the 4 hour, you can see we got above last week. We did start to get above the 200 and the 21. We did get the cross. We started to get a little bit of push up. Again, we were running into resistance there as it pushed up. And throughout the weekend, we did lose the 21. You're kind of in that neutral zone. Stay above the 200, though. That's pretty strong. The 1 hour right now has been above it. This last week, we did run up. If you go back a little bit in time, we did push above it, kind of back tested into it, and then pushed on up. and then we did this hard drop. But again, it's really just trying to drop back into major this lower area. I'm not getting too excited till we start to see it start to break back down, and then we'll start to look at the lower levels. But this is a pretty strong line in the sand right now that I'm going to be watching for this to start to play out. Going down into the 15-minute here and looking at the price action. Hey, let's see how we ended Friday. The week came in pretty flat right into this point of control area right through here, and that's really just kind of how the day sat throughout the Saturday and the Sunday, and then we had the fall down. Now, if we're looking at just kind of what's going to happen throughout the week, like I said, I expect this area to hold right around that 90 to 92,000. I'm going to jump back out to the weekly candle real quick, and one thing I do like to see just for ease is really look at this last candle body and look and mark it in half, the body, and just by us marking the way we did without measuring this out, you can see that we're pretty much in the middle of this, and this kind of already balanced. So if we start trading in this area, we could easily build strength right here and push up and start eating up this wick. That could easily happen. Now, if we start to break back down, then we'll start to go after this lower area and come back down in here. And then we'll look at those lower areas. Again, 90,000 is all the way down on these two candles here. These are two weekly candle bottoms. So that's pretty strong area that it could still come and even wick down in here and touch and go. But that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Obviously, when we are looking at trending, that's kind of how I want to see how the week starts out. So right now, we are still kind of more of that bullish push-up. And if we start to kind of get back up and break up this area, that's definitely going to be a run, and it's following the wind push in the area that we want to see. Now, if charts want to break out of the resistance and we're getting the overall push in that direction, you are going to see some expansion and move up into that area. So obviously we had a squeeze from Friday coming into the weekly candle close, and you saw it sell off. Now you might ask, well, how did I get into that? Most TA that I know wouldn't have called this to push. This was a 50-50 push at the time, mainly because quick, easy, right? So you're sitting here on the 4 hour right now. At the time of the push, you were getting underneath the 21, so you're 50-50, right? So you're above the 200, underneath the 21, that's 50-50. Why would you say it's going to go up or down? Now, some people will say, well, it's going to go back down to the 21 or back down to the 200. Yeah, on what time frame and what chart? That's like trying to trade in Bollinger Bands, expansion, and then it's going to come back together. You're right. We all know that's what's going to happen. That's what everything pushes away and then pulls back, pushes away and pulls back. That's Bollinger Bands. But it doesn't mean that they're always going to touch each other or get really close within a certain percentage and then push away again. You don't know what that is. It's never going to. There's no way to actually track that kind of stuff. Sometimes it gets closer and then pushes away, and other times it gets really close and pushes away. So for ease, if I'm above both of them, I'm going to definitely be bullish. If I'm below both, I'm bearish. If we're in the middle, it's 50-50. So this could have just sat here and went sideways and snapped out of here and became really strong bullish, or it came down and is playing in the middle of this area. The 1 hour at the time was definitely bullish, so it was above both of them. It was kind of playing in there in a neutral zone, but really most of the afternoon into the close of the candle, it was above, so it was kind of more of that bullish behavior. Now, if you go out into those higher time frames in the daily, right now you're kind of neutral in the daily, right? You're holding the 21. And the 21 is sitting in this area that I was talking about. So if we're really starting to transition, this is what you want to start seeing happen. I know a lot of people start saying, hey, well, I'm going to start drawing these lines on the charts, and this is areas that it could come back and test. That's all good stuff. But unless these points interacted with major support and resistance, it's hard to connect the two as lines. But each their own on how they chart and what they want to see. So if you're asking me like what's going to happen this week, I don't I really don't know. We're in a fight zone, and really we're asking it to either break above that 94,000 and start to build out, or break back below this 90,000, 92,000 roughly, and push back down. So if I was just going to say, hey, well, here is the line in the sand, I'm just going to draw it right here around 90,000, and I'm just going to go right back up to where it's actually been kind of trading, and just say, it's really not super accurate, but I'm just going to say around the 94,000, probably 500 is kind of this range that we were kind of just trading in just for ease. That's kind of where I want to see a breakout, something right in this area, and let's see what happens. And if it's going to break out there, it's going to need to break out with some energy, and we have yet to see that energy in the space quite yet. We did get a nice volume spike down, but when it got down to where it mattered, it gave up. It just kind of extended. So be careful on Monday here for fakeouts and kind of reset. And then really I'm going to watch kind of what happens this Tuesday and going into the rest of the week. So if you're have the ability to trade with us, watch for the levels, the 30-minute, the triggers. So you do know that we do put these on here if you're watching our recaps. I had them turned off for now, but they're all been sitting up here really, obviously, right? With this major squeeze, and we had it happen. Now, if you're looking for this major push down, this is typically what we would see. Hard part, you're coming out of the weekend, and like I said, you had some weird behavior, but you can see this right here was your resistance, and this was your trigger. They were stuck wrong. Normally they're flipped around. Their daily support and resistance stays outside of the triggers. And you can see we're stacked hard right up here on the top. So when you see this kind of behavior, when the trigger, breakout trigger, and the daily resistance are that tight, a lot of times if it breaks this, you're going to see an expansion move. It's going to be a strong snap when it breaks out. Or like here, they were close to each other, but you can see as it broke down through it, it really started to move away. That's typically when you want to trade that, though, is when it's in a typical trade day. For my rules, for me, is I only trade in the morning, and I'm running anywhere from 8:30 Central Standard Time, and I'm looking at trading all the way into about 10:30 to 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. That is my zone that I'm always going to be watching, typically when I am trading. And based on statistics, we do know that really Tuesday through Thursday is always your stronger area. So am I going to jump on a candle on Sunday night? No, because it doesn't follow trend. Sometimes you miss the move, right? Or you feel like you do. And actually, it's just setting up for us to get into a stronger move. Think of it that way when things like this start to happen. Don't feel like you missed this opportunity. So there is a lot of testing and stuff we've been doing on a lot of these triggers, and when things set up a certain way. And we have a lot more on our site that actually shows a lot of this kind of stuff. And there's some things that we haven't released that we are been back testing, and we'll see where it kind of goes from there. But anyways, guys, I'll go ahead and let you go. Like and subscribe, hang out. We'll keep watching the recap. We do have the lives here on coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, guys. So get on the lives. We're transitioning to where, since the levels and everything are being more automated, where you don't have to go figure them out. I know it was kind of a slow live because people were just watching. We were showing you really how to set up the charts, but now we've kind of taken that away, and we're not doing that anymore. We're just having the system set them up and giving you the levels. And you can see that they're already, they just get put on here when you're on the live. But the one thing is, we're going to start looking at taking trade opportunities on the live and start watching that, so you can kind of see. So yeah, check out the live. It starts at 8:30 or 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. It's usually about 45 minutes typically is the live time frame, give or take. So watch for that. Again, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Other than that, we'll do weekly recaps and share as much as we can on knowledge on TA, on the charts through the channel. So check that as well. But we'll go ahead and let you guys go, and have a great week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.